I'm Patrick.
This is Will.
And I'm Chris, and we are Guys with Issues. And today we're going to talk about Green Arrow and Black Canary as we continue on our couples month. This one was chosen by Will.
Yeah, which is pretty easy because basically all of the Green Arrow stuff from Rebirth just has both of them in it. So you can pick any arc you want.
There you go.
There's literally not like one arc in particular, but from what I read, this one kind of cements their relationship.
Yeah,
in a
we'll
way.
talk about it.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it.
Calm down, Will. You're getting ahead of
no,
yourself.
Come on, Will.
We do appreciate that you shared how you chose this stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I did a moderate amount of research,
Did you?
but then
Good.
decided we could just read anything because it always has both of them in it.
There you
I
go.
did a moderate amount of research and went, oh, F it.
Yeah. That's basically what happened.
That's what he just said.
So,
So,
I went to a half-priced book
oh,
store,
that's right. And I got a text from you.
And
Wait,
I-
only one of the books is half priced?
right. Just you have to find
It's
the
a half-price
singular
book.
book that is half-priced, and you get a good deal on it.
Oh, just on that, though. They don't go, hey, now you can have.
Right.
Oh, well, that's
Um,
very specific.
I picked up a bunch of Superman comics. 3 of them were recommended by Chris over there, and one of them I picked up on my own.
Which
Oh,
is
good job.
also a good one.
And I also picked up my new favorite comic
Oh, yeah.
ever.
Yep.
Which
He has a
is
new favorite.
Which is,
The Unbeatable Squirrel Girl beats up the Marvel Universe.
wow, so it's like One Punch Squirrel Girl?
It is awesome.
Yeah, I flipped through it. Did I tell you that? That I
No.
looked at it when you took it in to work?
No, I didn't. I didn't even know you saw it.
He must have stolen it off
Yeah.
your desk.
Yes, I did. Because I was getting things back that day.
Ah, that makes sense.
Yep, I was having Batman comics returned to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I was like, oh, and I flipped through that and I went, yep, this is definitely not for me.
That's fine.
No, but I love that because knowing what it's like when you told me you found it, I was like, oh yeah, you would like that. Like that doesn't surprise me at all. It's like
And I do.
it's basically Bo Fury in the Marvel universe.
5 nuts out of 5.
Do you know anything about Squirrel Girl?
Nope.
I don't know if you would.
Is it
Do
like,
you think he would like it?
Does he enjoy puns?
yeah.
Then you'd like it.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Really? Never mind. I'm
Ooh, he's censoring himself today.
You don't like puns? Or you don't believe that is...
I don't believe that is the defining factor of whether you're going to enjoy something or not.
Well, sure, but there's a lot of good puns in there.
Yeah, but you like her because she's like a computer scientist.
Well, sure. She's smart
But is she also a squirrel?
She's smart and quirky
and quirky.
and lovable and goofy and punny.
Right.
So she's basically
Like,
his
what's not to
favorite
like?
kind of anime character.
It's like Patrick, if Patrick was a girl.
Yes.
Cool.
Pretty much.
You know, I'm going to take that as a compliment.
I think it was meant to be one.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, you know, never know with Will. He is the disruptor.
But yeah. Yeah, that would actually be a good one to read on here because you would love it. I don't know. He would probably enjoy it. And I would be middling to fair. Maybe. Probably.
Sure.
That was so for those of you who are disappointed we didn't read that, there's your answer.
There's your answer.
You already know our opinion. Except for Will. Will's the wild card. Because
Right.
once in a while, Will enjoys something we think he might not.
Once in a wild card.
And once in a wild card, he dislikes something that I thought he would like.
Right.
So,
A man of wild opinions.
yeah, mostly unshaven and woodsy.
Just
Yes.
like me.
Unshaven and woodsy?
Yeah.
Sandalwood beard oil,
Right.
right? Yep. That's
I mean, to be honest, sandalwood is a great smell.
It really is. But I've been using sandalwood beard oil for so long at this point, I don't even smell it on my beard anymore.
It's like a curse. It's like
It
you love
is.
it so much, and then it's gone.
And then it's gone.
But that's the way smells work.
I know.
That's why I don't believe that people in like the Civil War era noticed how bad they smelled all the time. Because if you think about it, when you do like reenactments and different things, and they're out in the summer and they're wearing like all that, like the wool coats and like the full garb,
Right.
and they reek, like they all stink because they sweat. But back then, you know, pre-deodorant, when people aren't taking baths every day, it makes me wonder if people noticed how bad people smelled.
No, I'm thinking just take baths every day.
Take baths every day.
But no, they probably. I mean,
I bet it
they,
would.
They might have had like an inkling of it, but not nearly as bad.
No, not if it was an everyday thing.
Right.
But then, something
Because think about
similar
it,
to
like
that,
when
like
I couldn't smell lacquer thinner after working in the factory for years.
no, that is true.
It just goes away when you first start.
or the glue.
Oh yeah, the glue. When you first start using the Christie's Red Hot Vinyl adhesive, it like
is-
makes you sick when you open the jar.
Yeah,
like
like-
it's so strong.
It is a punch to the nose.
And when you do it long enough, you barely notice it.
Sure. like so when I put the beard oil on in the morning,
You smell it some.
I smell it a bit.
Yeah.
And then within minutes, I don't smell it anymore.
Yeah, after I smelled your beard that one day,
Mm-hmm.
that's why I have sandalwood body wash now, because I really like the smell.
Hey, you know what? You're welcome.
Thank you.
But on the same vein as that, you know how we enjoy like grilled food, like
Yeah.
know,
Okay.
cooked with like charcoal, and it has that like kind of like smokiness to it.
Okay.
Wouldn't they not be able to taste that because everything they ate would be,
Well, they boiled a lot of stuff too.
but everything was
Yeah.
cooked with like a wood stove.
The old English diet,
Boiled.
boiled.
But like they still had wood stoves, so you'd still get that.
So to them, that was just a taste.
Yeah,
it
they
was
were-
just the flavor of your food.
Yeah.
Right.
Interesting.
So
I never
how-
thought about that.
Wait. Let's back up a second. How did we get there from Squirrel Girl?
We talked about smells.
I don't know,
Your beard oil got mentioned.
Well, yeah, but why?
Someone said sandalwood.
Anyway, it doesn't matter.
And then he brought up, or you know what?
It does not
Somebody's
matter.
going to have to go back and listen and tell us.
Yeah. Email us at longbox@guyswithissues.com if you can figure out that conversation.
Listen.
Oh, man.
So anyway, I'm excited about reading those Spider-Man comics. Spider-Man.
Boom.
I just need to take a nap. Those Superman comics.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to start with Superman Unchained.
Yeah, so that's going to be probably the coolest looking one
Just because it's on top.
because Jim Lee did a lot of the art in it. Mm-hmm. I had some of the issues back in the day when they came out.
So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. I think you'll like it.
I might have a little more time here in the future
To read Superman.
to read Superman.
You going to quit your job?
Ubermensch. To read Superman.
I'm gonna retire young.
Oh, cool.
I'm not actually retiring young. I'm probably gonna work the rest of my life.
That's how I feel. I don't want to retire at all.
You say that
I
until you're
actually don't want to.
65, and then you're like, I could take a break.
No.
You're assuming I'm gonna make it to 65.
That's a whole separate conversation.
Although I might, since I've been getting in shape and
That's
eating
true.
better and losing weight. And
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
are
you're
we
on the
gonna-
road to longevity.
I'm on the road to living until I'm 165.
Oh, Chris is getting a phone call.
Oh.
You should probably take that. Never mind.
I notice he is keeping his phone on the table. However, it is precariously on the edge.
It is precarious.
Is this going to be
Listen.
the 5th issue in a row
Wow.
in which his phone
Okay.
hits the floor?
So
So the
you
fifth
should
you-
know that yesterday at work, somebody handed me their phone to hold. And Patrick, was it you? Was it? Oh, it was Laura. Goes, I don't know if he's the one that you want to hold your phone. And then Patrick laughed
I did
at that.
because it was funny.
And I was like, "Ugh." It's not like I do it all the time.
Once a week.
Yeah,
Pretty
it's
much
just once a week.
Once a week.
Maybe a couple of times on the
I
same
reserve dropping my phone till Thursdays.
Okay, whatever. Moving on. I will say about your. So you got Superman Unchained.
Yeah.
You got Superman for all seasons. You got All-Star Superman, written by our favorite Grant Morrison, by the way. And what was the other one?
That guy.
day. Secret Origin.
Oh, written by Jeff Johns. Yeah. So I think Mark Waid wrote for all seasons. And that one's supposed to be a pretty good look of it, too. So you have like a Scott Snyder, a Jeff Johns, a Grant Morrison, and a Mark Waid. For those of you who don't know anything about comic books, those are for huge writers. Huge, especially in the DC universe. So he basically picked up 4 books written by people that are just known to be top tier.
Huge as in popular.
I mean, I don't know their stature. Maybe they're huge as in people.
Hey, I'm just assuming.
I was going to make a fat
Scott
joke
Snyder's
too,
not that big. He's pretty small.
But
Is
then
he
you looked
related
over
to-
to me.
Huh?
Nothing.
Is he related to Zack Snyder?
I don't think so.
But they're both in the DC world.
It's true.
Yes. Yep.
Yep.
Anyway,
Anywho.
what about you, Will? Did you do anything interesting? Buy anything interesting? You meet any squirrel girls?
I haven't met. There's these squirrels that are always chasing each other in my yard.
Well, nuts to that.
Yeah. I mean, there was that thing from last week that I almost remembered to mention, but I was getting ready to come here, right?
Sure.
I was in my office, kind of getting, I look out the window, and there's this guy that walks down this, back alley road behind my house, and he's got blue jeans, a green hoodie, the hood is up, and he has a blue cape. And I'm like, that's kind of weird. And he keeps walking, and he doesn't follow the road. He gets off in these people's yards and just keeps going.
Okay, then.
There's a glitch in the matrix.
I'm just like, it's kind of odd. I see a man in a cape as I'm about to go record a podcast about comic books.
Yeah.
You should have screamed help out your window and just seen
Yeah, see if he would have ran over.
If he flew over, that would be...
Ooh.
Ooh.
I ran really fast.
Yeah.
I know. It was just a weird thing. I'm like, I mentioned that. Been listening to I'm almost done with a 3rd book of the Traveler's Gate.
Yeah.
And it's been okay. I'm reserving final judgment to the actual end. But the whole series so far has been very fast. I think we talked about that.
That's what I've heard. That's
then,
the biggest criticism I've ever read about it.
It comes to this screeching halt for a while
Really?
over this one part.
That's interesting.
And I'm listening very intently because I'm like, is this actually important? Because it doesn't seem like anything is really going on. But for whatever reason, he seems to be highlighting this moment. And so now I'm just kind of waiting to see what happens, you know?
Interesting.
Hey, Will.
Yo.
Have I told you about another book series that I've listened to that I really enjoyed that I didn't think Christopher would like?
Is it Dungeon Crawler Carl?
It is Dungeon Crawler
Oh,
Carl.
I've seen that on Audible.
I
It
think
is-
Will would like
I
it.
think Will would like it. It is really good.
I would
Okay,
not like
yeah.
it.
I
Pretty
think
sure.
I think
I don't think you would.
that's another Travis Baldry narration, isn't it?
It is not.
Oh,
It is.
he,
Jeff Hayes
No.
narrates that and does an amazing job.
No, Patrick thinks he's better than Travis Baldry.
I do.
ooh. I'll check that out then.
Yeah, I like that. That's if that's the case. Will's like, okay, I'm sold. I have to listen to
I'm
this
sold. I
guy.
have to listen
Well,
to this guy.
I've actually looked at it because it shows up in my recommended because I listen to a lot of the He Who Fights with Monsters,
Right.
Cradle,
Right.
other nerdy things.
Yeah, so it
And
gets suggested.
it gets
to
suggested,
You. Yeah.
Yeah.
and I've clicked it. I read it. I can't remember if I sampled it or not.
It's really good.
Sampled it. My stepbrother likes it.
Oh, okay.
He suggested it to me
Oh,
after I read Forging Hephaestus.
Yes.
Because he was like, oh, if you like that, you should check out this.
I really need
series.
to listen to the next book in that series. It was really
I
good.
forgot that I never listened to the sequel. I forgot.
Yeah, I need to do that.
I need to do that too.
I have so many books I need to read. It's
Talked about books last week. I cut like 15 minutes of our banter out last week.
I know.
I did finish Pride and Prejudice.
Oh, did you? Cool.
Yep, I loved it. It might be one of my favorite books of all time.
That's great.
How weird is that?
So your favorite book of all time is Pride and Prejudice.
One of them.
Mine is Squirrel Girl.
Wow. But yeah, like it's a cult classic. So like,
I think it's just considered a classic.
it's a cult classic. There's a cult.
Which one are you talking about?
Wait, what?
I think he's talking about Pride and Prejudice.
Oh, okay.
Squirrel Girl. Why wouldn't there be?
What is happening? I can't follow this. I'm sure nobody else can. Everybody else is going, I'm following it fine. Whatever. Yeah, the unbeatable Squirrel Girl, huh? I still think you need to get the omnibus. Just get the whole shebang. It comes with like all 30 issues that were ever made of everything.
Maybe someday when I'm rich and famous.
Or at least financially comfortable with making a purchase.
Right.
Yeah.
One of those two. Whichever one comes first.
Come on, Powerball.
Come on,
Yeah,
Powerball.
so for any of you who are listening, Patrick's birthday is coming up. So if you'd like to buy him the unbeatable Squirrel Girl omnibus for his birthday and shower him with your everlasting adoration, that's a good gift. There you go.
I don't know how I feel about this.
That we're supplicating our listeners with pleas of your
Yes.
birthday presents.
That's what I don't know how to feel about.
Yep. And you can email us if you need to know where to send it or how to reach us if you don't know any of our addresses or workplaces.
Please do not give anybody my address.
What about your social security number?
I would give them
driver's license.
I would probably
number?
give them.
You don't know
works.
any of that.
Date of birth.
You
I do. We
might
do know his
know
date,
that.
date of birth. I do. I can math out the year.
math it. Not right now.
Let's see. You are. Anyway.
Yep. There you go.
Cool. Yeah. So we'll be looking for that in the mail.
Banter complete.
Wow, he's banter blocked us.
Banter. You just hit the complete button.
Unless we want to keep
Cool.
bantering. I don't care.
No, I'm fine. I don't care.
Okay.
Well, according to the structure, I don't know. I don't remember who wrote this, and I don't know that much about the Rebirth stuff. And I'll share the little bit that I know while we talk. So I guess that means it's time for a synopsis.
I think it was a Jeff. Hang on. Was it Jeff Johns?
No. It was a name I didn't recognize.
It was Jeff something.
Foxworthy. He wrote this.
I was going to say Gearling.
I don't know. I think it starts with an M, doesn't it? This is pointless. Will, get your synopsis. I'll look it up. Will, get your synopsis.
No, I was wrong. Benjamin Percy. Then why did I see the name Jeff somewhere?
Maybe you drew it?
Will, get your synopsis.
Hey, Will. You should probably get your synopsis.
I swore. Maybe I was looking at something else. I looked at a lot of Green Arrow stuff, so maybe it was written by a man named Jeff on one of the other ones.
It was written by a man named Jeff.
There's a lot of Jeffs in the comic book world.
Also, I would try to tell you who drew it, but I'm pretty sure there were at least 3 different artists for these.
One of them was named Juan.
There was only Juan artists for at least one issue.
Wow.
Yeah.
But it looks like what we read was written by a man named Benjamin Percy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Does he have a book series written about him?
No.
I almost made that joke. That was weird.
What, Percy Jackson?
Yeah. I mean, that's the joke I almost made.
Yeah.
It was Juan Ferreira.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say anything. I was going to make a dumb joke, but I decided against it.
That's cool. I'm waiting for Will.
Okay. Oliver Queen, a.k.a. the Green Arrow, returns to Star City from fighting alongside the Justice League to face his trial for the alleged murder of Wendy Poole. He has to contend with more than he bargained for, as his mother he thought was dead shows up at his gravestone. Thankfully for Oliver, he doesn't have to face his trials and tribulations alone. Dina Lance, a.k.a. Black Canary, a.k.a. his girlfriend, is there to back him up in his time of need. But will true love conquer all? Find out today on Guys with Issues.
Yeah, so you said this was part of the Rebirth stuff that they did.
Yeah, this is early.
Back in 2016.
Yeah, early Rebirth. Kind of a good spot to jump in because...
See, I was thinking it was like a bad spot to jump in.
Why is that? Because
it was the climax of 30-some issues.
Yeah, but you didn't actually have to read. Not a lot actually happened in those other ones.
See, I don't know if I would agree because I read the first 2 volumes a couple months ago.
I'm also going to have to hard disagree on that.
Because you learn how he loses his stuff and you see him sink the Ninth Circle's place and like...
Yeah, they talk about it though.
They do explain it. They expose as an exposition.
Yeah.
They Magneto. Can we just call that Magnetoing?
Yes.
I mean, it fits.
It does.
If it fits, it ships.
I thought this was a funny choice for you because it had quite a few of the narrative boxes.
It did.
And I kept thinking, we'll pick this, and it's got so many narration boxes.
So many.
Did you read them?
I did read them.
Okay.
Good job. Turn it over and leave.
After you mentioned how you skip a lot of them, I wondered, I was like, how much of this comic did Will skip?
I flipped one page. It was literally just all green boxes. I'm like, gosh almighty. But no, sorry.
That was
I think it was called, what, Trial of Two Cities?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, it was.
Not that I would know. It's not like I picked it or anything.
Right.
But
did you both just read Will's curated list, or did either of you read that random Christmas issue?
I looked at it to see if it was important.
No, it takes place like 10 issues earlier. It says takes place before issue 25.
I mean, I flipped through it, but I didn't actually.
I read most of it, but I got kind of over it partway through. Did you read it at all?
I don't remember.
Okay.
I've slept since then.
Well, there were a bunch of like hallucinations where they were living their best life, but with bad things.
And, yeah, that's right.
And it was Count Vertigo broadcasting a signal, and a bunch of people were mind controlled except for Black Canary because her eardrums are specially coated, and that's why they don't burst when she screams.
I don't think I read this.
Okay. Cool. And then they do a big fancy Spider-Man web using gravel arrows and save her at the end. So it wasn't technically part of the list.
That's good.
But it was like an annual. So it was like a Christmas special.
That's fun.
So
I did look up where he was when he's returning, because it's like everyone's like, "Oh, welcome back." I'm like, "Oh, where did
didn't they say he was in Gotham?"
He was fighting with the Justice League, and he was part of the. He was in the Batman Who Laughs.
Oh, it was part of the Metal Universe stuff.
Yeah,
huh?
yeah.
Okay.
Because there was
Dark Knight's Metal.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
I still haven't read that. I've been meaning to, but I'm on issue 112 of the Rebirth Batman run right now. So, and the Dark Knight's Metal stuff is like way earlier.
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, whatever. I'll go back and read it later. I've heard the event's decent, but most of the tie-ins are blah.
Yeah, because he had I think it was literally the issue before we started reading was the Green Arrow tie-in.
To Dark Knight's Metal?
To Dark Knight's Metal. And I'm going to spoil it. He shoots Robin.
Cool.
Kind of on accident, but...
Oh, well, I guess that's sidekicks get shot in Green Arrow's life. That's what that means.
Yeah.
That's what that shows.
Right.
Because his sidekick sister definitely gets shot.
Right.
Which...
It does happen.
She has a cool big betrayal moment in the first volume that Will claims doesn't matter, where she betrays him and she and her mom shoot him and take him down for the ninth circle.
Is that why
Oh yeah, I did read
Shadow.
that because it was
the Green Arrow didn't want to call her whatever her name was?
The Red Arrow?
Red Arrow.
Yes, the Red Arrow.
I don't know.
How dare you not call me my self-imposed nickname? Pluck.
I don't know because Rebirth, kind of like the New 52, just takes stuff from before and does new things with it, trying to bring certain things back and capture ideas and make it a good starting point for people. So,
yeah, because in this one, Black Canary is an orphan, which kind of comes into play later on at the end, because he gifts her. That was me, just so you know.
Oh, I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure what sound rolled.
I don't know. The devil's trying to come out. But yeah, at the end, Oliver gifts her. Well, doesn't gift her. He creates an orphanage and names it after her. Gifts her an orphanage. She has a bunch of orphans and a house for them to live in. You can play with them whenever you want. I have a lot of gold now.
I'm rich. I give people orphans. That's very strange.
That is odd.
Yeah.
Sounds like a rich thing. I'm so rich I can give away orphans.
Wow.
Yes.
Yes. Do you have an orphan yet? I'm Sir Henry. I will give you your own orphan. How many orphans would you like? Yes. No, you cannot treat them that way. You've got to be nice.
I agree, 100%. That's exactly how it would sound.
So, did we like it? What's our overall thought? Did you like it, Will?
Yeah,
I kind
Will.
of did.
I kind of did.
No, I did think it was cool. Like, it had cool parts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
yeah, kind of overall had a pretty good message. I don't know.
don't be too rich.
Yeah. Well, if you're rich, don't also be a.
I guess that was kind of the message, right?
Yeah, kind of.
They talk about that the entire first volume. That's pretty much all they talk about.
I think it's a lot of Green Arrow. That's what it is, because it's kind of
It is.
Robin Hood,
Except he's
but
rich,
he's
which is
also
weird.
rich, and he robs rich people to give to poor people. I suppose.
I don't.
Does he rob himself?
I mean, he clearly gives away a lot of money,
Sure.
right? I don't know.
But if he's still rich, is he giving away enough money? No, whatever.
So if you're rich
Uh-huh.
and you help people because you're rich,
Right.
but you don't help people enough to not be rich, is that because you believe that you can't help people the same way if you're no longer rich? Or is it because you're afraid of not being rich?
I don't know how to answer that question.
Well, most rich people help poor people because it's a tax deduction, and so they can just be more rich.
Yes, this is true.
That
But-
wasn't my question.
Now, here's the question you need to ask yourself. Does Green Arrow steal enough rich people's money to make them poor?
So then he
Well,
has to go rob the poor people he just gave to give back.
Right.
Oh, and it's a cyclical thing, right?
No, he just goes finds other rich people to give to those newly poor people. But if he does that, does that make him a hypocrite because he's not giving away enough of his money? Or does he just take enough out that it's more like a charity thing? These are the questions I had while reading this.
We can almost create like a Green Arrow economic system.
Greenonomics.
Green aeronomics. You've heard of aerodynamics. These are aeronomics.
Aeronomics.
Oh, geez. Wow. Okay. So what were some of the things that you liked about it?
Well, it had ninjas and sunken treasure and murder.
Oh, don't get me started on the murder part. depending
Yeah.
on which part of murder. I guess a few people get murdered. By the way, okay, so I get that you could argue that Merlin, this isn't going to be my least favorite scene, so I want to talk about it. But when Merlin chokes out Diggle with the chain,
Yeah.
I was like, why would this assassin fool choke a dude out with a chain instead of stabbing him with the scissors that he had?
Right? And I also am
But
like,
then I was like, oh, the way he made it sound was that he still saw Diggle as maybe like a frenemy. Like maybe he didn't want to kill him because he's like, I taught you. Remember, we were partners.
but then on the other hand, Merlin was like half dead. Like he was all
If he
beat
is
up.
strong enough to choke a muscular mercenary with a chain, he could have stabbed him in the neck with some
No,
scissors.
I'm not denying it. It was definitely a dumb choice.
I was
What I'm
like,
saying
it's
is how
going to
does-
take way more work to choke some dude out with a chain than it would have been to just go,
How
you're
does-
dead.
But that's my point. Like he was hurt, but he still had the strength somehow to choke out a fully healthy, muscular mercenary guy. So it's like
How do you know how hurt he was at that point?
because
Because he kept
Diggle-
going, let me go.
Sounds to me like he was hurt emotionally because he was choking that guy out with a chain.
I don't because he
Yeah,
was
only emotional people would be so like brutal and personal.
Right.
A quick scissor to the throat would have been
I
just
know.
a normal killer. Come on.
Sorry, Will.
yeah.
He was emotionally sick
I mean that is not wrong,
and in love with Oliver's mother.
which is wrong.
Why?
Yeah, why is
she's
that
a
wrong?
horrible person.
So horrible people don't need lovers?
That is exactly true. Yes.
That makes so much sense.
What is this? So we're talking about rich and poor and horrible people, whether they should be loved or not.
Getting choked by a chain.
This is guys with issues.
So we're talking about not least favorite parts, but parts that weren't
No, I was just bringing up parts in the comic.
Yeah.
right. Parts in the comic we didn't enjoy.
Or that you did.
Or-
This is the part where we just chat a bit.
Okay. Well, I have a question.
Welcome to Guys with Issues. This is how we do things, Pat.
Hey,
Is
thanks.
it?
This is my first time. My question is, why did Oliver Queen's mother
Moira.
need Oliver Queen to get that treasure?
Oh, because she didn't know where it was.
That's the only reason.
He's the one who sunk the whatchamacallit.
So why did he need to go with her? Couldn't he have been like, it's right there on a map? I mean,
he could have, but that would have been a boring story. Because then what have you been doing? Preparing for a murder trial?
yes.
Boring.
Anyway, I thought that paper was dumb. And
Yeah.
but if they had the technology to get down there so easily, I feel like GPS locations on those things, somebody else would have known where it was and easily been able to go get it.
You don't know because you didn't read the previous 35 issues. You don't know how easy it would have been, or if anybody else knew, or if anybody else had tried.
Yes, assumptions. You're right.
Yeah, so we don't know. I'm just
Which is why I'm assuming
that they could have.
that they could have. Because I'm like, this seems really easy. They're all talking about, oh, it's so hard to get down here. And yet they had all the equipment very readily to get down there.
I mean, they are rich.
Still.
But all of them are rich.
Well, only one of them was. Actually, neither of them were rich at that point.
They had access to rich toys.
Sure.
yeah, because when you're rich,
Because, you know
I
why
guess
they had
you-
access to rich toys? Because the Ninth Circle did not have a very good employee exit policy.
no, they murder you. And they make you wet your pants and run out of a
But
room.
they really
Oh,
should.
there was that part. Yeah.
They really should disable their accounts. I'm just saying.
About the guy peeing himself and running out of the room. That was drawn really weirdly because did it look to you like his shirt had somehow come open and like his
Yeah.
belly was exposed.
I thought that too.
I'm like, what? I can't make sense of this drawing because in one it looks like it was just like wide open, and he just had this like hairy belly hanging out, and then it was closed again. I'm like, what? And then he pees himself and it's wide open again. So maybe it's part of his superpowers or something.
I can open and close my shirt really fast.
I don't think he had superpower.
Oh yeah.
Wait,
He was just a disgruntled dude.
wait. Are you saying that power isn't super?
Super lame. Yeah, there were a couple times where I was like, the art in this is funky. I did not like. Hold on, I got to make sure this isn't my least favorite thing. I don't even remember. Did I have a least favorite? Oh, I did kind of remember. Okay. One of my least favorite things, so I won't use this for my least favorite thing, was basically any of the drawing for fights, any of the fight choreography. There was like a time or two where they showed somebody's like stuff getting shot by Green Arrow, like the arrow, and then the direction of like where the panel from before you, he'd be like below them. And then all of a sudden the arrow would be coming from like above them. Or
yeah.
like they just, the action choreography, like the paneling and the way it was drawn. This is a comic where I was like, wow, I don't enjoy any of the action moments personally, because I was like, it just looked funky most of the time, or it was like not smooth the way that it flowed. It was very like, and I don't know if that was the artist.
I mean, it was no Blue Beetle. You're right.
Sometimes it was no Squirrel Girl.
It was no Squirrel Girl. Actually, Blue Beetle was probably better in that department than Squirrel Girl.
Action.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I flipped through it, I noticed most of it was just like her being goofy with other people.
Yes, which is why I enjoyed it so much.
Because that's what Patrick likes to do. He likes to just be goofy with other
Yeah.
people. But no, I didn't think that the paneling for action sequences was very clear sometimes, or like you're saying, sometimes things would be drawn one way. There was a point where Shadow's bow gets like shot and it looks like it breaks in half or something.
Yeah.
And then the next like two panels, she has it and she's firing arrows, and I'm like, did your bow just get shot in half? So I don't know.
Maybe it was her spare.
Yeah.
Gotta have a backup bow.
Yeah. Don't you know? The backup bow. The bow you know.
A bozo.
Bro. But anyway, that was some of the action sequences, and also some of the random insertion of action. So they were like, we're having these social talks and these things and debates, and and there's this murder and we got to visit this person. And then all of a sudden it'd be like 2 pages of him fighting a random bad guy on a rooftop with Black Canary, and then it would go back to like the normal story. And I was like, do they think there's like a quota? Like it's like, well, it's a comic book, we better show somebody
Maybe it's
getting
like
attacked on a roof.
Maybe it's like the Spider-Man games, or Batman. You have those like random encounters you can go do while you're trying to get to the main objective.
That was it, 100%.
So it's just like the random icon on the mini map.
Yeah, they're like, oh, hang on, wait, we got to go complete this objective real quick. We'll be right back.
Hold on, there's a random bad guy that showed up. Pow, pow, pow. Okay, now we need to go talk to this person who has PTSD for the campaign. The critical story mission.
Right. Critical story mission.
Wow. No, some of it just felt kind of shoehorned. It felt like there were parts where I was like, do they just think you have to have these moments?
I don't know. There were parts in there. I was lost, to be perfectly honest with you.
Yeah?
I was like, I have no idea what's going on right now.
Did you like when she used her bassy voice to stop the train?
That made no sense to me either. I thought she was going to get run over. And I'm like, I don't know.
She used the tunnel to enhance her.
She said that. And I'm like, I don't believe you.
I mean,
sound is definitely enhanced via echo inside of tunnels.
right. I don't know enough about her powers. I'm not going to argue this.
Do you know enough about sound waves?
No. But I think...
Neither did the writer.
Because it was supposed to be like a super fast.
Oh, Jake.
That was not
Why are
his
you looking
phone.
at my phone?
I'm just
I hit
letting
my
everybody know.
I hit my
I'm
headphones
waiting
on
for
my
it.
mic. Stop it. Anyway, what were you saying, Will?
I don't remember. Crap science, I guess. Like,
Science.
I don't know.
Might as well throw some mutagen on her.
That's right.
Such a few mousers out there.
Anyway, now see, but I think that the problem is we would need to verify how certain sound waves act before we can really criticize it. Maybe they did cursory research.
I mean, if there's enough bass, it can move stuff.
Yes.
So,
and it doesn't even have to be that much. So if the idea is if it's enough to put out fires and stop a train, it must be a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. We don't know how loud it was. We couldn't hear it.
It is true. They didn't include sound in those panels.
Yeah, they didn't put decibel numbers. We don't know.
They did show sound waves, and they were large.
Yes.
I don't know. That part, I was like,
We just don't have enough evidence.
I rolled my eyes at her pun, though, in that moment.
I don't remember.
All about that bass pun. I was just like, probably because that song was popular back in 18 when this came out. I don't know.
I have no idea.
Was it popular back then?
Well, anyway, what else did you guys think?
I liked some of the one-liners.
I knew that's why when you said that you liked the puns in the other thing.
I don't mean the puns. I mean like
just like the single lines.
Yeah, like when they were down in the trench or whatever, and they were like, "From here, there's really no way to go but up." I thought that was kind of cool.
That is a pun.
Well, okay, fine. I just like puns. That's it.
You know,
that was
one of the few lines that I did like.
Yeah, I like that.
That one wasn't bad.
Yeah,
because she's like, we're in trouble. Like,
it's like what they were talking about and stuff. Yeah, I thought that was good.
Yeah, I can.
I hear your cell phone.
Oh, is that what that was?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it looks like it came out in 2014. So this was just a couple years after.
Yeah.
So probably still pertinent.
That was just an older gentleman that has finally caught up to the times. I don't know if that's true or not, and I apologize if it isn't.
Yeah, because Benjamin's listening.
Yeah, right.
We know he is. He's
probably going, I did all that research for those sound waves, and those hooligans think they know more than me.
He's the one in South Africa.
Dude.
Whoa, that would be... Why is he in South Africa, though?
Probably because he's on a mission to find gold. He's getting research for his next story arc.
Could be.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So, what else did you guys like or dislike? Anything? Or are we ready to just go into the...
Probably could just do
that. Okay. Oh, I wasn't... I mentioned it already. It seemed like the art changed once in a while. Like, it wasn't always the same artist. And when they're... So, I get that happens. I get it. It's not a huge deal. But I don't like when the art feels drastically different and it's in one story arc. Like, when it's a couple of issues and it flips back and forth, I'm always like, ooh, that just bugs me a little bit, personally, when it comes to comic books. Personally.
I mean, this happened in... what were we reading? I think it was when we were doing the Batman thing. Nightfall.
There were definitely... But those would have, like, totally different comic titles.
Yeah.
So that's a little different because it's a crossover. This is like issue 36, 37, 38, 39. And sometimes you'd be like, oh, that looks different than the last issue. And that just threw me off a little bit. But anyway, so structure, is that what we're doing? Did you have a favorite part?
Yes. when, I don't know, the bald guy went and attacked the lawyer
At her house?
at her house,
Yes.
and then she stabbed him in the head
With his own knife.
with his own knife. And she said,
Oh, no.
I might be a defense attorney, but I moonlight as a prosecutor. And I was like, that's amazing.
And he's like, if I ever become a vigilante, maybe I'll just be called the prosecutor.
Yeah, I like that. That was good.
No, that was your
That was
favorite,
my favorite part. Hey, I
Wow.
like what I like. I'm not going to apologize for it.
That was fun. I like that. No, Patrick, I see you, I hear you, and I appreciate you.
Okay.
I love that you chose that as your favorite part because I would have never considered that. What about you, Wilhelm? Did you have a favorite part? I'm sure you did. You had to have.
Maybe.
You liked when Superman burned the judge.
I did like that. Was my favorite part. You
That
had
was
to
pretty
remind
good.
me. Thank you.
Are you serious?
Yeah, like
That is awesome.
it was actually the whole ending
The
scene
whole
when
the courtroom where
the
the Justice
courtroom,
League
yeah.
was
Sure,
100% interfering with a trial.
yeah, and like
100%.
the Flash comes in and just steals the prosecutor,
It literally
And, like-
takes him out of town.
Right.
takes him very far away to where he's next to a mountain and a goat.
Probably a mountain goat.
It,
It might have
no, it didn't look like a mountain goat. It wasn't. It didn't have the legs for it.
It didn't have the legs for it.
been. That's how we'll identify as mountain goats, by their legs.
Yep.
So do you care to talk about this a little bit?
Well, I mean,
So
When I have
Oliver
been-
trial is on
Yeah,
Oliver trial. Oliver Queen is on trial for murder
of
Boy, that
somebody
was an
who's-
Oliver twist.
for somebody who's still alive.
yes. So like the Ninth Circle faked some girl's death.
That they thought was dead. They thought she was dead.
Yeah.
Because when the detective sees her, he's like, holy cow, she's alive.
Yeah. That
Oh,
happened.
yeah. Yeah.
I like that Will's like, did he? And you're like, yes, I remember that.
Yeah.
I don't remember a lot, but I remember that.
Because that's why he gets stabbed in the head is he shows up to kill her. Because he's like, she needs to be dead.
She needs to die.
Yeah. But then I guess it's a bit of a contradictory because there's that scene where he hands her off to the men who live underground or whatever they call
Because he
them.
thought they were going to kill her.
Yeah.
That was
I
from
mean-
years and years and years ago. You see that part, I think, in Volume 1. Not the part where she gets taken, but when they stage his boat. I'm pretty sure that's
Yeah.
from the beginning of the story arc.
Did you say stage his boat?
Yeah, stage it. Like, stage the murder on his boat. They
Oh.
pour the blood all over it.
I was like, how do you stage a boat? It's fine.
They stage the murder on the boat.
I'm tired.
Speaking of boats, did you go to that boat show yet?
I did.
How was that?
It was good. There were boats there.
There was something that Will would find cool.
Is it that thing I told you about?
Yeah.
So,
So
anyway,
it a
hold
boat?
hold on. This is now an intermission. Back to some brief banter. I'm
Brief
going to
banter.
leave this in. Why not?
okay,
intermission.
So there were boats at, I think the most
There were
expensive
boats
boat
at the boat show.
Were there
was-
ships or is it just boats?
just boats. I think the most expensive one was like $290,000 or something.
Yeah, they didn't have any like sailboats, did they? It was
No.
just motorboats,
It was
right?
motorboats,
Yeah.
pontoons,
Yep.
jet skis, things like that. They had this really cool jet ski though
Get ready, Will.
that I was so close to thinking about buying.
But Will's going to want it. You
Yeah.
just wait
It had a bunch of fishing attachments on it
What?
on a jet ski.
on a jet ski,
Bro.
So it had like the holders for your fishing poles,
Yeah, rod holders.
rod holders. It had the back seat comes off, and then you can put an extender on it, so you can set up higher to fish off the whole
Oh,
thing.
that's cool.
It had an optional pump that you could buy to turn the cooler in the back into a live well.
Oh.
I'm telling you, man,
That's a neat idea.
I was like, that's really
and
cool.
it's a jet ski.
If you,
I know.
Yeah,
you could
if
probably
you-
put like a sonar on there too, and
oh, I'm sure. Yeah,
because they make something you can put on the side of kayaks.
Yeah, if I can.
Will's
if I can find
eyes
it.
are sparkling.
If I can find it, I'll send you a link to it.
That would be cool.
It was really awesome. We were just looking at it, and all my brothers were standing around like, "This is really cool." I don't fish enough to make the $20,000 price tag worth it, but
That hurts.
I know.
Nah, Will's gonna do it one day. I feel it.
I'm sure you can.
It's like owning
get
a
used
motorcycle,
one
but
or
just on the
something,
water.
Yeah.
And you can fish from it.
I know. It would be awesome if that would be like if I ever got a house on a lake. Not literally like on the lake, but, on the shore
A
by a
houseboat.
lake.
If he ever gets a houseboat. No.
If I ever get a houseboat and
no,
a
that'd be-
jet ski.
That would be perfect because launching a boat by yourself is kind of a pain.
Yeah.
And so, like, if you just had that, you just hop out to wherever you want to go, catch some fish, bring it back, cook it up, and eat it.
Yeah, it'd be great. That's why I was like, this is actually.
They should have a like a skillet attachment.
Yeah, I mean,
Like
they
a
might.
yeah.
An electric skillet attachment.
Yeah.
And a
Because that wouldn't explode.
and like a cutting board, so you can fillet your fish.
It's just
kitchen
a fold out. It's a fold out like a grill, almost
Right.
like a Blackstone
Yeah.
that like attaches to the back.
Exactly.
Yeah, that'll work out great until some jerk in like a speedboat comes by, does donuts around you, and splashes water, and you
Right,
roll
right.
over. And that's going to work real well.
We now return to our regularly scheduled program.
Yes. I just forgot
So-
you went to a boat show. Yes.
So you enjoyed the Justice
so,
League
yeah.
interrupting the
Justice.
course of justice.
Yeah. I mean, it was corrupted.
Okay,
just,
yeah, it
like,
was so corrupt.
It was, including they never fully showed that the judge themselves were corrupt, but I think it was implied that they were on, like they were kind of on the take.
It was implied because of the text messages that were sent. I
And
believe.
the jury that had originally been chosen,
Right.
all had vendetta against Oliver Queen.
right.
Yeah. So
But it's hard to find somebody
who doesn't
guilty
have-
of a murder that when the person's still alive.
Yeah, because that's the big twist when she comes up and she's
Yeah.
like, "Objection! I'm not dead."
which would have hit a lot harder if you didn't know she was alive the entire time. But they ruined that, like, at the beginning.
Well, here's the thing:
In the
they
beginning.
already had implied that knowledge was there before this story arc. Because he said, I think Dinah saved her earlier.
She could have, maybe?
I think they say something about somebody getting saved earlier.
But she
So
was-
I'm guessing
yeah.
that was just from an earlier issue, is
Could
my
have been.
guess.
Like when he was gone.
Or
Maybe, or
in the
something.
beginning.
yeah, when he was
there's-
well,
I
when
don't
he
know.
was gone. I don't know. I didn't read those issues.
But he knew she was alive, right?
no,
His sister did.
yes,
Yeah.
He
So,
did not.
So I'm sure the comic readers knew that already.
I mean I did before the trial. Yeah,
I meant before the story arc we read.
Oh.
Most likely.
no,
Most
I'm pretty sure they did. Yeah,
But
but
anyway,
Green Arrow never did.
I couldn't
until
remember
he
who
walked in.
didn't know.
Yeah,
Anyway,
The judge, obviously.
right? What?
the prosecutor,
Yeah. Well,
the jury, none of them knew.
the prosecutor never found out because she didn't come in and before that he got taken away by the Flash.
Right.
He still
That's
doesn't
true.
know she's
That's true.
alive.
That's true. I was wrong.
He's walking home.
Do you think the entire Justice League knew, other than Green Arrow?
Like, do you think that they clearly knew? My guess is Oliver planned that whole thing with them. I don't think he was surprised by them helping.
They didn't look like it.
No. I think they just schemed it all ahead of time.
Oh, okay.
But he didn't plan on her being there. That was clear.
Right, because he didn't know she was alive.
He thought at that point that she they didn't think she was capable of speaking anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
So, because she was like totally PTSD'd and scared that if she came out, she'd get murdered again for real.
Right.
Yeah, for real murder sucks harder than fake murder.
As you do.
Yeah. So, that's a shirt. For real murder sucks way harder than fake murder. So, yeah. I would say that they knew they all had their role to play in the big reveal of saying, this whole system's corrupt and I got framed.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they were like, that's why we're called the Justice League.
Yeah.
Because we interrupt justice.
Because we interrupt justice.
We interrupt your justice to bring you anarchy. But then Hal Jordan also showed up.
Yeah,
He
and
did.
projected the numbers on the big screen.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going to be a monitor for that.
That's basically what he did. I was like, Cyborg could have done that.
He could have.
No, that was good.
Probably with
Hal
more
Jordan-
colors.
How they're like, hey, can you up the contrast? He's like, shut up, it's green, okay?
It's green, okay? It's like one of those monitors from the 80s.
Yeah.
That's funny. But then he was also watching TV with his ring. So, like... 'cause
Oh,
he's
yeah,
just
he
out
was
in
watching
space, just watching the news.
news.
And it's like, aren't you supposed to be like the defender of the universe or something?
No, he is one of the defenders of 2814, Sector 2814.
Oh, okay.
Come on now.
So,
He's a cop.
who's the defender of Sector 8675309?
First off, there aren't that many sectors. Secondly, that was a good pick, Will. Way to go.
Yeah.
My favorite part was his reunion with Diggle.
I don't even know who that is.
I watch the shows. I have an idea.
When Diggle comes back and they both were kind of like, he's like, yeah, sorry I did you wrong. And he's like, yeah, I kind of did you wrong too.
Oh, okay, yeah. Now I know who that
And then
is.
they were like, yeah, friends. And he's like, are those flowers for me? And he's like, no. And he goes, oh, good. I figured you'd like that part.
It was good.
But
It wasn't as good as that one-liner.
But no, I liked their reconciliation. I thought it was decently written for that moment, and I was like, that's probably my favorite part when the two of them let bygones be bygones. So,
Yes.
You have a favorite character?
I'm gonna say the lawyer lady.
The prosecutor,
Right. No,
yeah.
I mean, yeah. I don't think there was anybody who was really above anybody else.
No,
I mean, the green. I could go with the obvious Green Arrow, but there are times where I
or
think
Black Canary.
he's a little too trusting of people.
Yeah, for how many times he gets betrayed,
Right.
which is all the time
All the
apparently. It's like, oh, the dude who was all burned up in the acupuncture bed.
Right.
He
is not
betrayed
my favorite.
He betrayed him in the first story arc. That guy betrays Oliver in the first story arc.
I am gonna say the Green Arrow.
Okay. I
Just-
thought you were going to say the acupuncture guy.
Just
I am going to. No, it was that acupuncture guy.
acupuncture guy.
The way he took that arrow to
No.
the eye was just great.
And out the back of his head.
yeah.
No, I really can't do the lawyer person because they knew that the quote unquote murdered person was alive, and they could not figure out a way to get her into the courtroom to prove his innocence or like take a video.
But her concern was that the Ninth Circle would come after her. It was
What,
more
is
about
the-
her protection.
is the Justice League just not good enough anymore? Is that what we're going with?
Really, let's talk about that for a second. They can get Wonder Woman and Superman to show up for a trial, but they couldn't be like, hey,
We need
this guy's
girl.
a problem. It's kind of a shadow organization, though. It's hard to take down people that are operating all over different places. And
Sure, but if they're like, hey,
it's-
look, this is what's happening. We got
you mean
this.
like if Superman came out and goes, listen, I am truth, justice, and the American way, okay? Don't worry about the fact I'm an alien. And he goes, this whole thing's a sham. We're taking him. I'm a sovereign being.
Well, I mean, even there's that, but then there's also the fact that they could have been went to the Justice League and been like, look, we need her to show up at the trial, but she needs protected.
But I mean, I don't think that the concern was immediate. I think it's like, oh, even if she shows up at the trial, like one day she might just end up dead in the bathtub.
But how is that still not a concern?
Well, I think it is, but it was her choice. She was like, no, I'm doing this. I'm not going to be afraid all the time, even though I'm afraid, because that's what she said.
But if they take a picture in a nondescript room, how are they going to know where she's at?
Or in the Fortress of Solitude.
Right?
She takes a selfie with Superman, being like, "Hey,
Dude, how funny was that little girl taking a selfie? How funny was that? The girl taking a selfie with Batman after she saves him.
Oh, yeah, that
the
was
good. I like
prosecutor's
that one,
daughter.
yeah, that was
like
that was funny." Or how about
I like that Batman. It like they all do their job right. Like the Flash literally kidnaps somebody. And Superman attacks a judge,
with laser eyes?
He just attacked the gavel.
and Batman saves a child. that's why we root for Batman. Because, but
Yeah. How funny was that one panel though, when he's like, it's of the last comic, and he's standing there like, "I'm gonna defend myself," and it's like his lawyer, I think her name is Kate.
oh, she's like face palming.
Yeah, she's like grimacing. But then you look at the background of all the people in like the seats.
And there's one dude who looks really realistic.
Yeah, and then there's one that's just like, "Ooh, that's not a good idea." And like a guy with big eyes, he's like, "That's probably not good for you, bro." Yeah, it was funny.
I did look at the crowd in that scene.
Yeah, good times.
Good times.
What about you, Chris?
So wait. So your favorite character was
that's
Green
what we
Arrow.
were-
Yeah, why not?
Who was your favorite character?
I'd probably go with more like Black Canary.
Yeah.
Yeah, she had some better lines,
That's true.
Yeah.
and I don't know, she showed a lot of forgiveness, for
She even
stuff.
tried to save his mom
yeah,
It's true.
because she never had one.
yeah.
Right.
So the answer is yes. Bad people can be loved even by their not quite daughter-in-law.
I mean, she didn't love her enough to actually save her.
I mean, she tried. She was going to. She's going to attempt it.
So would that be like a daughter-in-law once removed?
I think that's a mother-in-law once removed.
That was actually pretty good.
Withholding comment. So, yeah, I enjoyed Black Canary's character. I did too.
That's good.
That's not my favorite character, but that's a good pick.
Is yours the Pea Pants guy?
Pea Pants guy. I liked Mr. Pea Pants.
He had a magic shirt that would just fly open every once in a while.
I think his superhero name is the PPG.
Pea Pants guy. No, because I don't want it to. If you're known for peeing yourself, you shouldn't have pee in your name.
Or should you? Like double down on it, Own that.
Wow. Now that is juvenile humor. That's this. We may have just made one of the most juvenile things ever for this podcast. So, no, I'm going to go with
a new height.
I'm going to go with Emiko. Right, that was his half sister.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
His ninja sister.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Emiko. She was a pretty good character, I thought.
Yeah, she took an arrow to the chest for him.
I'm going to be honest. I wish I had a ninja sister.
Half.
What if she shot you in the back with an arrow before that?
Worth it.
Yeah, because I believe she does it in a way that she does it to try to save him because she knows that Shadow's gonna kill him.
Come on, Heather, hurry up.
Yeah, Heather, come on. When are you gonna be a ninja?
Step up your game.
Yeah, come on, Heather.
Did you have a least favorite scene?
Yeah, when
The Justice League interrupted the trial.
no, actually, that was a good scene.
Yeah,
I
no, it was
enjoyed
funny.
it, yeah.
I thought it was funny.
Yeah. No, I think my least favorite scene was when and I can never remember anybody's name in these comics. when Oliver's mother showed up. And
Moira.
When Moira showed up, and Oliver was just like, "Oh, hey, Mom, welcome back. Let's go on an adventure."
When he thought she was dead.
Yeah. He wasn't like, "Why did you abandon me for all these years?" I don't trust you. No, he was just like, "That sounds great, Mom. Let's do this."
In fact, I'm going to keep it from my girlfriend.
In fact, I'm not going to tell anybody. Yeah.
Because I feel completely safe with you.
Right?
You've been nothing but great to me, Mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then he also borrows that one guy's technology, like the suits, because she's like, I hope your buddy, blah, blah, blah.
No, Henry created the suits, designed them.
Oh.
They're not his. He's like just some R&D dude that like he's like his guy in a chair. Like those were Oliver Industries secret Green Arrow fancy stuff, like the way Bruce has Lucius building crap through Wayne Enterprises. They were his submarines. I like then they're like, that's another dumb part though when they're talking about the suits and they're like, if you get a crack in this, you're dead. And then they show it cracked later when he's like, oh no, I'm gonna die out here, and they show that what was with all of the sea monsters ever?
It was Aquaman just messing with Green Arrow.
Dude, I actually thought that too. And I'm like, wait, if this
he
is
can
here,
have the whole Justice League show up for a trial, but he couldn't say, hey, Aquaman, can you give me a hand going down to 9,000 feet?
Yeah, and how long was that treasure down there?
But here's my thing. Why, if they were like, we're so low, the pressure is so deadly, here are lots of huge sea monsters that are a problem. That was that when
they did kill quite a few of them.
But why were they there and why were they so aggressive?
Yeah, I don't.
For action.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, the comic writer was like, well, we can't have story without fighting in this comic. And if you listen back to previous issues of Guys with Issues, you hear Christopher often say things like, I really like that part where they was fighting. Because I do enjoy like cool action in comics. That's one of the things that makes comics fun.
Right.
But I think this person goes, hey, cool action is what makes comics fun. And they shoehorned it in and it almost never made sense.
Right.
It has to fit the story.
No, I agree.
It's like when you're playing Dungeons and Dragons and that one DM that just constantly makes you fight stuff.
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about.
I know exactly who you're talking about. We're talking about our previous experiences.
Me.
Is that what you do?
No.
No,
You're like,
I've watched him on a stream where he's led it, and there were like very few fights. It was more of a mystery and intrigue.
I will set up fights for characters or the party.
Yes.
And if they can figure out a way to make it so the NPCs don't want to fight them, I'll still give them the experience with the fight.
Of course.
Yeah.
It's about solving a problem. It's not about having to punch people or get attacked by squids and really weird-looking shark things.
Right.
How were there so many different kinds of sea monsters and they weren't fighting each other?
Because they had fresh
it was
meat.
Aquaman.
It
You're
had
right.
to
He
have
was
been.
just like,
It really had
I've
to have
always
been.
hated Green Arrow.
And why would
He's like, he can't even shoot arrows underwater.
You're in my turf now, boy.
Oh, and what about like their like water suit things that they had on? They almost look like space marines.
Yeah, like 40K.
Like
almost.
40K
Hammer.
Space Marines.
And,
Yeah.
until he raised his hand, and then he had these tiny little those
Like-
things that give old people to pick stuff off the ground, where he's like pulled a little handle and had like the clumpy things. I'm like, are you serious? How did he pull a flash drive out and put it in, and with the claws push the buttons to get the data?
I guess Queen Industries ran out of money on that one.
They
Sorry, we
built the
don't-
suit and they're like, crap, the gloves weren't done. Hold on. Hey, you know those things that old people... It's not just old people. It's anybody who has trouble getting around.
Or anybody
It's
who's really
the elderly,
short.
really wouldn't short. Oh, to reach high.
Yeah.
I was thinking if you were really tall and didn't want to bend over.
I need to get one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 of them. I need to get 2 of them.
So.
It's going to be one of those
is
episodes.
sea monster sounds.
It's coming up from the deep. Taking
Normally,
over.
I cut all that stuff. I'm just leaving it all.
just leave
I
it.
don't-
It's ambiance.
It's ambiance.
ambiance.
It is the guys with issues ASMR. If it's not beard rubs, it's stomach gurgle. So stop it. So wait. So what was your least favorite part?
Is that what we're doing?
Yes.
Sorry, we got off onto like sea monsters and
No.
old people
That
with
was
the little
that
claw
was because
hands.
of my least favorite
He made
part.
that comment, and then we were somehow. You mentioned Aquaman. I don't know.
No, I said it was Aquaman because he mentioned the sea monsters.
Yeah.
I said
Yeah,
it was Aquaman.
I'm gonna go ahead and say the little claw hands thing.
Hilarious.
Now that I think about it, that was really dumb because he's like, "Yeah, come at me," and he raises his hand, and it's like abnormally
it's like the movie
small
Scary
too.
Movie.
You know what I really like?
Scary Movie was like, did you see Scary Movie 3 where he like cocks a shovel
No.
and
That's
like the
hilarious.
shotgun shell comes out the side of it?
No, I did not.
That was also a ridiculous thing. How did that USB drive survive those depths?
That's what it's definitely waterlogged.
Did it again. I hit my head on the mic.
Like, did they specifically design one for it
Yes.
before they went
Yep.
down, or did
That's
they
what
just
it is.
buy it at Walmart?
Yep. I don't.
We don't know because they didn't
Could
explain
you
it.
imagine that? Like he goes up to the desk and there's that one like young nerdy kid at the counter at like
Right.
the back of the electronics section. And he's just like, "Hey, would you happen to have a flash drive that survives at 9,500 feet below sea level?"
Do you know the crushing the tensile strength against crushing for flash drives? And they were like,
Actually, we do have one it's a little more expensive, sir. I don't know what your budget is, but there's one that is supposedly used in space, in the vacuum of the.
what about underwater?
I don't know if it's tested, but there is a warranty.
I'll take it.
It's, that I can see it now. And in between them, walking up, getting the flash drive, as they're leaving, they get attacked by somebody in Walmart.
Because it has to have an action scene.
Right.
It's a ninja in an aisle looking indiscreet with a cart, like
Yes.
trying to like pick cereal or something.
100%.
Yeah. Or it's like they have umbrellas in their cart and then they draw a sword out of it.
Anyway, I'm sorry for interrupting your least favorite.
It's the
Thing.
hands.
It's the hands. The
Did
hands
you have another least favorite
I
scene,
mean-
though? What would you have said before we went down that path?
Aquaman attacking the Green
Stop
Arrow?
it.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Sorry.
No, stop. Stop leading the witness.
I mean, I hate to say it, Pat, but I didn't particularly care for when the prosecutor executed the detective.
Hey, that's fair.
I'm just like, that's kind of dumb and random.
And amazing.
Like the one-liner she says,
That's
Okay.
why it was amazing.
but then like she just easily overpowers a full-grown man.
With her ninja lawyer skills.
She didn't really overpower him. He pulled a knife and threatened her, and he had it out from his arm, and she did a self-defense move that looked like she maybe broke his wrist or something
But
and
that-
removed the knife.
He's really bad at keeping a hostage too, because he just like let the boy go or something.
He also blew up his partner at the police precinct.
yeah.
I don't think he was a very competent criminal.
He must have been okay, because the thing with Oliver and the blood, I think, was from like a while back.
I mean, a broken clock's right 2 times a day. So
They fought the Clock King.
Oh yeah, that was another random.
That was the
thing.
random. That was one of the random ones. That should have been a line in the book.
I mean, they had time for it.
So my least favorite scene was when the lawyer killed the detective. That's
Yeah?
what I wrote down.
Amazing.
And I'm going to tell you why.
You just didn't enjoy that line as much as I did.
No. Listen, she's a lawyer. She commits murder in self-defense
Sure.
in a home.
Right.
And then it shows her bury the body in the backyard.
Well, that was later.
Here's the problem. He was the perpetrator of the crime she was trying to defend against.
Sure.
But
By killing him and burying him, not only do they go, whatever happened to that guy? And, it isn't like anybody would ever question or that there would be anything possibly tying to the fact that his car might have been parked around there still. And she's a lawyer. She is a lawyer. And she could have had him present in a home to build a case around, be like, look, this guy showed up and literally tried to murder the person. And guess what? She murders him and hides his body.
in her defense, to play devil's advocate, as you did for me.
In the defense attorney's defense.
Yes. She did know that the system was corrupt, and he was working for the Ninth Circle. So she's like, well, if they find out I killed their lackey, they'll kill me too. Even if I have a good case against them.
For the amount of exposition in this comic, I'm shocked they didn't put that in a box.
I wouldn't have read it.
They ran out of space.
They were like, we have too many boxes.
We have too many boxes.
But I was kind of like, we just saw a lawyer murder somebody
Yeah, it was.
and bury his body, and then nothing get mentioned again.
That's right.
So
Not like
I
the
put that-
psychological damage she did to her son, because it was her son that got kidnapped.
Oh, well,
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 held hostage
in the moment, yeah.
in the moment.
Yeah.
anyway,
And the
Yeah.
kid's like, oh
what
my
about
God.
that kid?
I watched
What
my
about-
mom
what about him?
put a
I
knife
just
through
saw
someone's head.
a grown man get stabbed in the head by my mother
Yeah.
and helped her bury the body. We're going to assume she needed help. And she said, okay, little Jimmy.
He drove the car. Drove?
He drove. He was
drove the
very
car.
little.
Yeah. And prodigy at car driving.
Yeah, one day he's at his therapist and he's like, 30 years ago, I had to send a car in a river.
And then swim out. No, anyway. Yeah.
But no, it was just a little nonsensical.
It was just that line. That's why I liked it so much.
I am not asking you to defend it. I love that you picked it. I love that when you picked it, I thought, oh, that's funny because I'm going to be the antithesis
Yeah.
of this.
I thought
But-
the same thing. I decided that was my least favorite, and then I remembered stupid tiny claws, and I'm like,
Tiny cloud.
Stupid tiny claws.
Did you have a least favorite character?
Yeah. You've said her name multiple times.
Moira.
Thank you. There you go. That's my least favorite character.
Moira Queen.
Right.
Oliver's mom.
Right.
Okay.
Because she's a horrible person.
That's true.
And I don't feel like I need to say anything else.
Nope. What about you?
Moira is a pretty good pick. I think I would also throw in Merlin.
I thought he was going to say Aquaman.
The one guy who never actually showed up.
Right.
His absence proves his guilt.
Why was the rest of the Justice League helping? Hal Jordan was in space.
You were on the same planet.
Yeah, channeling Fisher Kesha.
This
We got-
podcast is off the rails tonight.
As it should be.
Right.
So that's Merlin and his lover,
Yeah, but both of them.
Moira and her lover.
Sure.
Okay, my least favorite was the dopey detective guy, the bad guy, the crooked cop.
So you hated him.
that got stabbed in the head.
Yeah,
Oh.
you hated him, and then you also hated that he got stabbed in the head.
No, he hated him, and then he hated how his body was
I just
disposed of.
I hated the whole situation.
But you know what? If he hadn't have been in that scene, I wouldn't have hated it.
But then they wouldn't be able to use that cool line.
Ooh, true.
Yeah.
It feels
And
like he thought of that line. He's like, how can I use it?
Oh, 100%. You're right. He should not have. I just forgot about her burying it because that was in the courtroom later.
Yeah, she was like thinking back.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, I'm tired. I didn't get much sleep last night. It just kind of flashes back
And
to
it
her
flashes back to her burying it,
to
just
her
in a thought
shoveling
bubble.
dirt by a tree.
in the dead of night.
Maybe,
And it was red colored.
maybe she was burying something else.
The hatchet.
Maybe that. Yeah.
That
The
knife.
murder weapon.
That's what it was. It was the knife. No.
The body was buried before.
Nope, not making that joke. So,
Or maybe she called the cops and she decided to bury some treasure. You don't know.
she does get a $500,000 gold bar at the end.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but that's post digging hole.
Yes, we know.
Yeah. We know
He
she
said
didn't put
buried
that in the
treasure,
hole.
and I said I was
I
trying
thought
to
the same
loot
thing.
treasure.
But that was like the timeline.
So anyway,
Timeline's wrong.
I wasn't trying to timeline it. I just wanted to tie her back to treasure.
I know.
Anyway,
why are we talking about tires?
I don't
now?
like. No, I don't like the detective dude, the crooked dude.
Cool.
He was just lame. He was always lame, and he was like, "Yeah, you just gotta get with the program. Look at my cool car," which, by the way, was two different cars.
I noticed that.
The artist changed, and their interpretation of what car he should be driving changed as well.
I know he went from.
It was like
driving,
a yellow Lambo
I was
almost.
gonna- yeah, and then it
to
changed like a Dodge
an orange, a Challenger.
Challenger,
It was an
yeah.
orange Challenger.
Maybe it was one of those fancy cars that
Transform.
morph.
Oh, like
Mighty
the TV
Morphin.
show Viper.
Right.
You ever see Viper from like 1993? Did you see the TV show Viper?
Yes.
Where the red one would turn silver with like armored panels, and it had
Yes.
like Batman guns that came out of
Right.
it. It was awesome.
It was awesome. I agree.
I loved that show.
Came out a year before I was born.
Get out.
To give away part of my birthday. Darn it.
Anyway,
Anyway, they would have to do math.
yeah, and we know there's
What's
only
1993 plus what?
Stop it.
Don't help them.
Anyway,
So,
let me double check, make sure I did say blah blah. Yep.
oh, who am I kidding? Our listeners wouldn't need help with math.
No, they're all savants.
Right.
Every single one of you out there. We have some amazing folks.
We do.
So, okay. I just have to say, I don't want to have to edit this, so I'm trying to think of how to say it. Did you have a moment at the end when he's like, some people call me the Green Arrow. Some people call me the Emerald Warrior. And then he says what he calls himself. That's a political, social term.
Oh, I do
Did
remember
you-
that. I was like,
So-
I cringed.
I knew it.
I
knew-
cringed
I
so
read-
hard.
I read that and I went, I cannot believe Will chose this guy.
I didn't know that was in there.
I know, and that was my favorite part.
I was
That
like-
my knowing that you wouldn't know.
I actually amend my least favorite part to being that scene.
That line, that dialogue box. Yeah, and then they show, by the way, that final picture with it, that's like a full page of his face holding the arrow.
Yeah.
Is the cover of issue 1 of Rebirth. Like, that is lazy. They didn't even do new art. I'm pretty sure that's the cover of issue 1.
Wow.
No, but when I read what he said, I was just like, Will's gonna like tense up on the inside.
I did. I'm like, I can't believe.
Because I asked Patrick, I go, what do you think Will's gonna think.
I actually rejected that part.
You forgot. You
I did.
disliked it so bad.
I'm just like, nope.
Anyway, but I don't want to alienate anybody out there, so I'm not going to say what he said.
I will.
No, stop it, because I'm not editing it. But I think that, so without coming outright, just know that I do think that most people can look at that term, and I think there's a broad interpretation of what it can mean and whether or not it's positive or not.
Yeah.
And the way that they wrote it, it was meant to be positive. It was meant to be positive.
Yes.
But the way that it reads, I was just like, oh, Will's gonna hate that.
I did.
Yeah.
But also, I think so. We talked about this, came out several years ago now,
Yes.
and I personally think that that's kind of dated. Even you don't really hear that much anymore.
No, you don't.
I think that the problem is this writer did not write like great stories of any kind, not just comics, but great stories of any kind that remain timeless. Try not to use a lot of like vernacular of a time. They kind of write more broad stroke, but in an artful way. And I don't feel like this is going to age as well as some stuff. But Oliver is always that character. That's the thing.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, I
that
guess-
is Oliver Queen.
I guess that
So I
is
don't
the
think it's a bad
story
thing.
of Robin Hood, though,
It is. It is.
because
Yeah.
he would be one.
It is.
But it's just funny because it's just the connotations of that specific thing. And I
In
was just
today's
like,
day and
Will's
age.
going to go.
I did.
So anyway, for those of you who read along, you'll know what we're talking about. But anyway,
Anyway.
yeah, I had to get him talking about it.
Oh,
Dude.
yes.
So out of what? How many arrows? Gold bars, super subs, USBs.
Tiny
USBs.
claws.
Yeah, tiny.
I like tiny claws too.
Okay, we'll do out of 5 tiny claws, Patrick.
I mean, I think 2.5.
2.5? 2.5 tiny claws?
2.5 tiny claws.
Okay.
I'll round it up to a solid 3.
Yeah.
I think I liked it enough.
So that's interesting because I debated if I would take it under 3. And I don't know if I would take it under 3. Although I feel like you and I kind of liked it on a similar level.
I was just so confused a lot of the time while reading that comic.
Maybe it helped me a little bit that I had read some of the establishing issues like way back.
Yeah, I actually did flip through all 30 whatever leading up to it. Like I didn't read,
Wow.
but I did dig through them, being like,
Okay, then.
That's why
'Cause
he wasn't as lost.
yeah, like I didn't hard read. But there's this one where they're like trapped on an island. And I'm like, too mushy.
Mushy.
Yeah.
What do you
like,
mean?
I mean, I feel like that
Like
would have
they're-
been perfect for this
Eh.
February issue.
Mushy. You mean
Yeah.
like romantic?
Yeah.
It was literally a couples thing. What?
I was joking. It's literally like they get. It's right after they blow up the Hell's Guard or whatever it is, Hell's Gate.
Sure.
Okay, I don't
Big
know
Red
what
Why
you're
Dragon.
talking
not?
about.
No idea.
I don't know what he's talking about either.
Like in the beginning,
In the beginning.
they go to that thing.
Oh, you're talking about the Ninth Circle's base.
Yeah, that.
Oh, I
thing.
didn't
It's-
know that what its name was.
No idea.
It's called like Hell's something. Like she gets, Black Canary gets kidnapped. He goes there, saves her, blows it up. That's why it gets sunk. But they kind of get lost at sea and wash up on this island. And they like spend time together, and then somebody else shows up and they fight and they get home and yeah. Well, they somehow find this like
He just flipped through.
yeah. I did a hard read.
Good comics, you can learn the story from
Yeah.
the pictures.
So yeah,
So he went through 35 issues or so.
yeah, they find this. They get off the island.
And you guys used to give me crap if I read ahead of where
They
he read.
they I remember now.
I
They
have no
found
words.
this like transatlantic railroad that went like in the ocean.
this is
And they
like
had to, like,
when
get
he talked
back.
about the wedding. To me,
Which wedding?
Starfires, I'm guessing.
Starfires.
Oh, before it happened.
Yeah. Anyway,
So you gave it a 3. You're a 2.5.
I am.
I just looked. I gave Saga a 2.5 and Iron Man Extremis a 2.5.
Okay.
And I'm trying to decide if I like this better. I'm actually not sure. I'll give it a 2.5. I feel like that's because a 3, you liked it the most, I feel like. And so I don't
Probably.
want to say a 3 because I don't think I liked it as much as you.
I liked it 0.5
And I don't do
more
that.
than both of you.
I don't do the quarters very often, so I'm gonna hold it. Even though I'm gonna go ahead and say the 2.5 because I was reading this going.
So we're gonna read an email.
Oh yeah, we have stuff to do. Yeah, I'll read it this time.
Okay.
I haven't read one in a while. This is from Christoph. Shocking.
Shocking.
The emailer. The longest emailer.
The subject.
The Trekkie.
He's just trying to quote his sign off. The subject line of this email is Christoph has entered the Fry battle.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
Will had a pause of where his brain had to go. Fry battle. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
We've talked about French fries. So he says, guys. Oh boy, do I have issues.
So do we.
So this is the right place. Thanks,
Yeah, right
Christoph.
place.
Okay, history lesson first. French fries are not actually French. They were invented in Belgium. Oh, I wonder how he knows that.
I feel like I either don't remember us talking about that.
We didn't.
Okay.
Nope, he's not correcting us. He's just teaching us.
Because I was gonna say I would have said that had somebody. Anyway, go on.
French fries were invented in Belgium and are a treasure there to the extent that we have fry shops on every corner of the street, and they are actually a national dish. So please believe me when I tell you that Will is dead wrong.
What?
Shoestring
me.
fries are just fine, and the only good fry is a crispy one.
Okay, so we're like 50-50.
I was shocked to see that Spider-Man Blue was not on Libby, so I did not read along this time. But I did enjoy the podcast, so that is a bonus.
It's good stuff.
We're glad you enjoyed the podcast. And you need to read that, though. That's actually a really,
That is a really
good story.
It is.
You should get it somehow and read it with your eyeballs. I also really enjoyed the super secret after podcast show where Patrick and Chris discuss all that is wrong with Will. Since he never listens to the podcast, it is the perfect place to drop all that secret Will knowledge, such as his favorite dress color and what really happened in his childhood to give him that deep, smooth voice.
Oh, no.
Keep on gossiping about Will. He deserves it for being wrong about French fries. And since he will never listen to it or read this email, it is a victimless crime, right?
I mean,
And then he
technically,
I have now heard your email,
yes,
Christoph.
but technically, you didn't read it,
I did not read it.
And he won't listen to this
and you won't listen to this.
No.
Dang it.
So,
He's
victimless crime.
Yours sincerely, the Shaka Boomiest, the Trekkie, the first emailer, the longest emailer, surely now, the most faithful listener, the Trekkie Lorder Supreme, the actual reader of the comics, except for Spider-Man Blue, the more emailier than Logan, right? The hold of truth about fries. Christoph.
Christoph, thank you for your email.
yes, thank you.
And
you were
I-
almost right about French fries.
And I think the fact that you know of a land where fries are on every corner means you come from somewhere richer than Wonka's factory.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
And if there's curry ketchup to dip them in,
There is.
it's so,
There is.
I'm moving.
Well, it was nice knowing you, Christoph.
Guys with issues coming to you from Belgium.
Just for fries.
I don't know why I said Christoph.
For
Right.
Christopher.
Christopher.
And so
I'm tired.
next week will be our last week for Couples Month.
Yes.
And we're going to visit a bromance and some couples. We have 2 couples and a
couples.
bromance. So 3 couples. That's pretty impressive since there's only 2 issues to read.
Right.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. So get ready. And we're still in DC for anybody who was like, we want Marvel back. Spider-Man Blue was Marvel's flagship for romance, okay?
There you go.
It was just
And they
what
did
it
do a
is
good
what it is.
job.
Yeah.
That is a really good.
It was
So,
very good.
are we going to say anything else? Do we want
that's
to
up to
put the
you.
email challenge out there?
It is up to you.
What do you think? Should
Go
we break
for it.
hearts?
Hey, you got to pull the trigger eventually.
So, for all of you who've stuck it through to this point in this episode.
Ding.
Dang it! That was 2. I'm not dropping
That's
it.
fine.
I said,
Just loop that.
ding 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 ding. Loop it. So, we have been talking, and one of us who's talking right now is being a whiny baby. And we want to let you all know that the podcast may be on its last legs right now.
Yes.
As we are speaking and you are listening.
So next week, we're going to finish out Couples Month, and we have a couple of backlogs to release that have already been recorded in case we needed to fold them in. But that may be the end of Guys with Issues. Yes. Yes.
We've run out of issues.
We may be running out of issues. Now, we
Whoa.
do, we know
Some of us more than others.
Right.
There's a chance there may be some form of continuation. There's some deliberation over that. So this isn't like 100%, but it's like pretty percented.
Pretty percented.
It's in the most likely echelon of percentiles. And so one thing that we did kind of we joked about, Patrick and I did at work, was throwing it out there to say, if you really, and Christoph, we know you're going to email, so just calm down, okay? So
Get those fingers ready, boy.
he's probably already typing. He heard that. He
probably
and went, what? And he pulled his phone and started typing an email.
This is the point where you need to pause, Christoph. Go to your computer, open up the email, display whatever the law, whatever it is.
I mean, at this point, he's already paused. So.
Yeah, he heard it.
Right.
And he goes, I'm not finishing this.
Anyway.
Get ready to
And-
start typing.
And so if those of you who've been listening for a while, we know there's several of you, and most of you haven't emailed, and that's okay. But if you absolutely, undeniably feel that this is something that you can no longer live without your weekly routine, send us an email
Yes, please.
at longbox@guyswithissues.com and tell us why we absolutely cannot stop the train. And just know that your words will be taken and appreciated, maybe shared, and possibly ignored. But
So they may be shared, but if you do not want that, make sure you put that in the email.
yes, we don't have to share emails. So if the reason you don't email is you don't want this, you don't want it on air, but you really want to let us know that we can't stop, you can do that. And just know, even if we do stop, it isn't because we didn't value what you had or you're sharing with us. There's just some stuff going on, and we've been debating, whether or not we're going to keep it rolling. And so we originally weren't going to go this far. So it's still alive. And we're still having fun. So, but yeah, we just wanted to throw it out there to you, to give you a voice for those of you who still listen weekly and find this to be a part of your routine and your entertainment. And so feel free to send us an email to, or to just say, yeah, maybe
Just say,
it's
yeah.
best. Maybe it's best.
Just hang it up. It's fine. You can do that too.
Don't quit your day job.
We
just yet.
we won't be offended by that. None of us in this room would
No,
take offense
we
to
would
that.
not.
So if you do think it's
Actually, we would probably laugh out loud at that. That would
so
be
if you
hilarious.
do think it's time to put the brakes on, let us know. And we've spitballed some other ideas. For those of you who have started reading comics who didn't before, and this has been the catalyst to bring you into comic reading and that kind of thing, we have some ideas. I have some ideas personally of maybe a way to help encourage that, or to still be in touch with people if they would like some guidance on things to read. So there's still some ideas floating out there. But like I said, we have next week's issue as well. When this releases, we'd have one more after this for the month, and then we will have a few pre-recorded ones to send out there. So you have time to still reach out. And for those of you who have strong opinions about whether Superman identifies as Clark or Kal-El, and Batman identifies as Bruce or Batman, there's a chance Will and I may have a little recording of our own to throw out there
They'll record. I'll take a nap.
to
It'll
help.
be fine.
To help.
We need a moderator, though. Last time you did moderate us.
No,
No,
he
no,
shut us down.
I shut you down.
No, that is
There was no moderation. I wasn't.
that is.
He just said this has gone on long enough, and we have an actual issue. Okay.
I also said, do it later. So
We may do that still. That might be something that people need to hear.
or want to hear either one.
Or they could maybe not give a crap.
Or
Put that in your email. So anyway, we just wanted to let everybody know what was going on, so that all of a sudden, 1 week you didn't go to listen and it just wasn't there.
Yeah.
So we wanted to be upfront, give you some forewarning. You would still have a month of content.
Forewarning.
Coming out after this.
yeah.
Perfect.
So anyway, we hope that you read along for the next week. It's going to just be 2 issues. Check in the description. They're pretty fun. So join us for the last week of Couples Month, and possibly one of the last episodes. I'm counting that as a thing, by the way. That wasn't an accident.
Okay.
That was intentional.
Whatever.
Not an issue thing.
So that wasn't an issue.
But anyway.
We'll know.
Anyway, I'm long-winded. Somebody cut me off. Patrick.
That's enough.
Come on, you can talk to him later.
Yeah.
Like next week.
Yeah. See you next week.
Well, I guess that means I'm Patrick.
This is Will.
And I'm Chris. And for right now, we are Guys with Issues.
Or are we still guys with issues?
Bum, bum, boom. You can catch Guys with Issues anywhere you find your favorite podcasts.
Or check out our website at guyswithissues.com, where you can listen, find reading lists, follow along, and get to know us better.
Send us emails to longbox@guyswithissues.com and tell us your thoughts, or send us suggestions on what we should read next. We would love to hear from our listener. Oh yeah, having been blinded by drinking wood alcohol, turning their eyes milky white.
Wood alcohol.
I've never heard of wood alcohol.
You can get alcohol from wood.
Hey man,
Oh,
if you're
wouldn't you
desperate
know it?
enough.
Wouldn't you know? It's like you ever squeeze a tree so hard you get alcohol from it.
Instead of getting blood from a stone, you get
Booze
Alcohol
from a tree.
Booze from a tree.
Oh.